Well, today marks the 60th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. It was back on August 28, 1963, that King and some 250,000 people gathered on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial for the March on Washington. And to hear those now iconic words fill the summer air.
Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. 1963 is not an end, but a beginning. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Joining me now is Cloves Campbell, the publisher of the Arizona Informant newspaper. Cloves, it is great to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
60 years later, where are we now since 1963?
Well, I'm sure everyone would say we're ahead of times. We're doing well, things are happening, a lot of things have changed, but at the same time, we still have a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm. Why is that? Why do we still have so much work to do?
Well, and when you look at what's happening on the landscape of the United States specifically, there are a lot of things that are going backwards. Voting rights are starting to change, the abortion rights are changing, various things have changed. So we're moving back and we're also moving forward at the same time.
Your father, Cloves Sr., he really walked a very similar path to Dr. King. And he moved a lot of mountains here in Arizona. Take us back, for those who are not familiar with what your father did, and really the fight to help make Arizona recognize Martin Luther King Jr. as a holiday here in our state.
Well, he actually was at the March on Washington years ago, and then he kind of got motivated from there. So he and several of his friends started doing a lot of things here in the community, working on voter registration, helping to get African Americans to get opportunities and jobs that had never been given to them before. So he had done a lot of those things. And fast forward into the Martin Luther King holiday, actually, the African American Newspaper Association, NNPA, started the boycott here in Arizona in 1986 when we decided to pull out of our conference, and many others did after that.
Yeah. Why do you think, why was Arizona the last to recognize? I mean, you know, it just boggles the minds of so many.
Well, you know, if you think about it, Ev Meekum rescinded the holiday that Governor Babbitt put there for us. But at the same time, Arizona is the only one that has voted it in. I think we just had a lot of people who didn't want to respect Dr. King and some of the things that he did. So now we're in a position where we had to go ahead and put it to a vote, and the people voted yes.
And you are making waves as well with the younger generation. Tell me, I mean, a lot of it starts with them too, to carry on this legacy and carry on the fight.
Yeah, well, you know, we're trying to continue to create Black history, record Black history, and teach Black history. It's not just about only Black folks learning about Black history, but it's for everyone. These accomplishments of African Americans in the United States and around the world have been just as phenomenal as anyone else. So we want to make sure that we put that information out there and we do what we can to educate our young people, because that's the future for us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for helping to carry on that torch.
Oh,
we appreciate your time.
Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Cloves.